Going on, brother?
What's up, dude? How you doing?
Doing okay. A little bit sleep deprived today, and not feeling like my. It's like one of those really. I don't know if you ever have these, but it's like I sense that it's this low willpower kind of day where I order Jersey Mike's at like 10:30 in the morning.
Dude, I love Jersey Mike's. I worked there when I was 16.
I didn't know it was around for that long.
Oh man, it's been around since like, I don't know, Reconstruction, post-Civil War era.
Yeah, man. It's I don't know. I feel like whenever I'm like in this like mood where I'm like I'm just so tired. I got a little bit of a workout this morning, but I'm like, you know, it's been a long week, like balls to the wall kind of week. The Phillies are playing this afternoon in their third game against the Braves. And I'm like, I'm just gonna order Jersey Mike's and watch the game and just kind of chill out for a little bit, give myself a little break.
That sounds good, man. You deserve it. I mean, you can't go balls to the wall constantly without a break. You're gonna hit that edge, and yeah, Jersey Mike's has always been good for me. What do you get? I always get the number five.
I get the Italian.
Do you? I can't get past the pepperoni, man. That's like one layer of meat too much.
Yeah, get the Italian. Maybe it's because like I'm, so far away from the East Coast at this point, uh,
Yeah.
that it like brings me closer to that. It's almost like this comforting thing. It's not even like the best what I call it a hoagie. I don't know if you call it a sub. I call
It's a sub.
it's a
Yeah.
hoagie. It's a hoagie. That's what we say. All right, so we can agree to disagree, but it is a hoagie officially.
The tagline for the brand is a sub above.
I say it's a hoagie for the homies. That's what I say.
Yeah, no, that's better. In some places they'll call it a grinder.
Yeah, we can't do that. That's that gay app, right?
I don't know.
There's
Uh,
there's a gay app. It's like the Tinder of gay stuff,
okay.
and it's called Grinder.
Okay. I'll have
Yeah.
to take your word for it.
Yeah, no, download it and take a look. You're gonna have to upload your picture.
Yeah, maybe if I can't fall asleep one night.
Your wife's like, why the fuck do you have Grinder down?
Too funny. Well, I don't have any answers for you, man, other than, I think what you're doing is right. You got to just give yourself a break.
Yeah. I'm happy actually. I'm typically not the kind of guy that's like, oh yeah, the fucking weekend's here. I enjoy the weekend, but tomorrow I'm like actually looking forward to just like unplugging for probably a day or two.
Nice. Nice, man. Well, it's a good time to do it, Give yourself a 3-day weekend, 3.5-day
Yeah.
weekend.
Yeah. I don't, hey, listen, we can segue this over to the Bitcoin price. It's like, hey, it's like easy, boring times right now,
Yeah.
79,000. There's been a bit of volatility, but probably
Yeah.
okay to just like unplug from it a little bit. And I'm sure on Monday
Yeah.
when I log back on, we'll still be in the 70s or 80s.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right. We're sort of stuck here until I don't know when. I don't know what's going to cause the price to go up other than, a big player stepping in and being vocal about it. Could be the US, could be GameStop, could be China selling treasuries and buying Bitcoin. We have no idea. But I heard someone say, and I thought it's right. What's happening right now is that institutions are here and they're doing an arbitrage where they have a certain amount of Bitcoin and then pull out shorts, and they're, I guess, doing some kind of way to sell calls or whatever, and they're earning a yield off of the price action.
So they're
So
manipulating the market.
yeah, they're shorting it, they're pushing the price down, and then the price goes up, and they collect a yield, and they just repeat that over and over again. So I think you would call that like institutional trading, which seems like not a very smart thing to do, especially with Bitcoin, which can be volatile. But I guess enough of these guys are doing it that they're depending on shorting the price in order to continue making money. So
It's incredible to me that we're at this price range, and we know China and Russia are using Bitcoin to settle their energy trades. We know how bullish the US government is. Bestnet talking about Bitcoin, Howard Lutnick talking about Bitcoin all the time. Trump talking about Bitcoin. Uh, it's incredible to me that like from a retail standpoint, folks aren't piling in. Like you'd expect at least the whole, while I voted for Trump, I wouldn't consider myself like a part of the MAGA movement, you know? It's pretty cool.
Mhm.
Like, I was never really an OG kind of, but like you'd expect all the MAGA folks to just, I would, buying Bitcoin. Where are they? Where are these regular everyday people that could change their lives just by buying Bitcoin a little bit every day? Where are they?
They're buying gold.
Yeah, gold or Trump coin.
Yeah. I think that, most of, well, I don't know if most of, but I would say a good portion of MAGA is older. They're Republican, former Tea Party people. I mean, Trump did a good job pulling in lots of different types of voting classes and cohorts. So it's hard to like paint him with a broad brush, but I think that we'll see the next like sort of retail adoption once people start to feel like they're missing out, once their neighbor has it, once, the few people they know have Bitcoin have moved on to different neighborhoods and live in bigger houses and drive nicer cars. That's when I think we'll see retail get in. Not until their neighbor is saying, "Hey man, we're moving out of the hood, we're moving out of the neighborhood and we're going somewhere nicer."
Yeah.
Then it'll be too late, but that's what you get. I think that's human nature.
Yeah, I agree. It's unfortunate, but I think it's the truth.
Yeah, I mean, there were guys like us, 10 years ago in 2015 talking about Bitcoin. Now, they weren't doing it on podcasts like this, but they were doing it on message boards. They were doing it in chat rooms on Reddit. And I think that it's funny to see that the same attitudes we have today is how they felt back then when Bitcoin was 500 bucks or less. They're like, this is going to be the future. And that's, I think, who we are. We've kind of grown into that, being a pleb buying in 2021. We're still out here kind of screaming into the wind, but it's not different than anyone who's been into Bitcoin. Like, this is part of the process. And then we're going to get the next wave. And then they're going to look around and say, nobody cares about Bitcoin. It's $1 million. How come no one cares? And it's just a
Time,
cycle that'll repeat.
yeah, time is a flat circle.
Yeah. Yeah, dude.
Drop a little True Detective quote for you there. Uh, yeah, it's the truth. Yeah, even just the energy at which I've expended over the years trying to orange pill people that, for not, or for them to just go down the shitcoin path. It's like, man, just wake the fuck up.
Yeah.
Like,
That's the hardest part. I have a good buddy who, he said, okay, I need to invest in cryptocurrency that isn't Bitcoin. What should I buy?
why?
And I'm
Like,
like, dude, you're an idiot and have fun staying poor. The reason is people can't get one Bitcoin that
yeah,
easily. You can, and it comes down to user
psychological.
bias.
Yeah,
I think if we made fractional Bitcoin feel like a something good, like point one, I mean, point one Bitcoin. Who wants to say that?
I know.
Like it's too expensive for somebody. Even if they could only buy 800 bucks, they're not going to do that.
Yeah, no, I know. Yeah, well, listen, it's the old saying, you get Bitcoin at the price you deserve. This is just a tale as old as the existence of Bitcoin. I wish I bought it the first time I heard about it. I wish I bought it the second time, the third time, and I rejected it all those times. But you live and you learn, and it's people have to be in the right place in their life where they're willing to accept that. And you can't force that, unfortunately. But even though, the orange pilling and the podcasting, even if it's not like moving a needle for retail adoption right now, eventually those same folks that buy it will look back and say, you know what, people did tell me about it. I should have listened. I ignored it. And that just is like, again, time is a flat circle. It's like the same stories being told over and over again.
Yeah.
But anyway, I mean, we can transition here to, I think probably, I want to do the Wigger. I want to do the Wigger video. I'm a huge fan of Wigger, who is Sam Hyde. Sam Hyde. How do you describe him? I guess I would describe him as a cultural, political comedian,
Yeah. Comedian.
commentator,
Yeah. Think boy.
think boy, smart guy, hilarious. Did
Yeah.
a lot of sketch comedy back in the day. But the dude's a Bitcoiner. Every time he puts out a show, which is not too frequent, like you think he'd want to do like every week, but it seems the cadence is, once every 2 or 3 weeks. He always talks about Bitcoin. Always. He always brings it up. And
Yeah. He doesn't jam it down your throat the way we do,
right,
or
right.
everyone else.
No, it's but you can tell even his staff, his staff are like buying Bitcoin and stuff, so they're kind of like really interested in it. And I just think it's an incredible thing that you've got a guy that is not running a Bitcoin podcast, but he's a big Bitcoiner. And I think that's
Mhm.
a huge thing. So let's just hear what he has to say here. Let me see if I can share my screen. He's hilarious looking. Look at him.
He looks like a professor.
Energy, right? And it's like you could say that like family is more important than money, but what are you doing when you're away from your family? You're trading your time and energy for the stuff that you need to like get by in life. It's a core civilizational technology like fire. And to fuck with the parameters of money, to like mess with the little variables and the ingredients that make it what it is, you're messing with something that's at the base of a really powerful vector. Like little changes down here make the vector swing wildly. Robert Kiyosaki, is that the guy's name? Who's the guy that wears the glasses that he stole from me? Rich Dad Poor Dad. He says gold is God's money. I don't think that that's hyperbole or a fallacious thing to say or something that is like out of pocket saying. I think that using precious metals for money, in particular, the one precious metal that every civilization settled upon using as money, I don't think it's coincidence.
You said something to me that was very interesting. You said Bitcoin isn't something you're going to want to sell. It's something you're going to want to pass down to your kids.
Yeah.
Which that is basically how I look at gold, how I've looked at gold. And now I'm a little more, listen, I dove in head first, so I'm kind of getting into Bitcoin a lot more. But that was a very interesting statement.
I'm starting to ramble, and I would just urge anybody watching this to do the research on Bitcoin and figure out what it is, because it's not going anywhere, and it's going to be the unit of account for the future. If it's not going to change your life materially, it's going to change the lives of your children materially. Put aside the negativity and the anxiety that comes with thinking about money and the surface level Ponzi scheme, get rich quick stuff that is associated with cryptocurrency, and start researching Bitcoin and what it is, because there's still 100x in there.
That's right, baby. That's right. Beautifully said. First reactions.
I think that yeah, I mean, I think he's spot on. I like hearing someone else talk about money. We've heard, Saylor and Breedlove talk about money, but I think what he echoes there is correct. Like you're trading your time and it's super scarce. We never think about it. Not never, but yeah, the fact that people can fiddle with the dials, and change the value of money and then thereby implication change the amount of effort and time that you have to put in to continue working to sustain the type of income that you're used to, like that's diabolical. And I
Yeah.
think the fiat currency is when you start understanding what it is, it's completely evil and immoral. And, Bitcoin being a neutral money is the obvious alternative, which is, why we do this and why we bang our head against the wall, hoping other people understand.
Yeah. You could tell he's listened to a lot of Sailor, a lot of it's almost like he's read the same books, listened to the same podcasts that we've all listened to. And to be relaying that just to urge people to do their research, right? Just to be like, listen, like you owe it to yourself, but to your future generation, your children, to do the research here, okay? And don't get distracted with all this get rich quick crypto Ponzi scheme bullshit because it's a one-way road to nowhere. So it's a great message delivered really well to an audience that I think is going to be super receptive to it. So I want to thank
Hmm.
him for this, man. And he talks about it every week. I always tune in and I love just every time he says Bitcoin. I'm like, fuck yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
What what
Here's
else you got?
here's actually illustrating why you need Bitcoin. This post comes from Simply Bitcoin, and it's inflation bleeds you to death slowly. This is astounding to me. So in 30 years, a 3% inflation rate, which is being modest, even a 5% inflation rate is being modest, I think, with the amount of money printing that's going on and that will be
Yeah.
going on. Um, it's going to be much more drastic than this, but like to look at what $1 million will be worth in 30 years, 412,000 at 3% inflation rate, 308,000 at 4% inflation rate, and 231,000 at 5% inflation rate. In 30 years, I actually think that $1 million will be worth like 100,000, to be honest. If it's
Even worse.
if it's fiat cut bucks, right? Like 1/10 of what it's worth right now because this is like an exponential thing. So I wow, like if this doesn't tell you why you need Bitcoin, then like what does?
Yeah, what do you think Bitcoin conversely will do? It'll do the opposite of this over 30 years.
30
So,
million, 50 million, right?
yeah, in 2055, I mean, we've been on the moon for a while and we're we're creating cities on the because we moon so hard on Bitcoin. I think that I can't even imagine, but 30 years from now, I think it's super clear that we'll have a $40 million, $50 million Bitcoin, if not higher.
Yeah. Yeah.
Could be 100 million. I mean, it could be $1 per sat, you know,
Could be. We know
100
it's
million.
going up. We know it's going up. So don't delay. Buy Bitcoin. But this is financial.
Yeah. It's funny though, because the difference between dollars, they're designed to go down because they're going to just print more when they need it. And the opposite for Bitcoin, it's designed to go up because of scarcity.
Yep. Thank God for that. I mean, thank God that we have that off ramp in Bitcoin.
Yeah, I mean, fast forward to 100 years, how many Bitcoin are still liquid that haven't been lost? I mean,
Yeah.
it's going to be a small amount of Bitcoin for the entire world.
It will. It will. It really will. It's gonna be fun to have a lot of it.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, I mean, with one Bitcoin having 100 million sats, I mean, that'd be 100 million bucks. Crazy.
Yeah. Want to go to this next video? The other one that you shared?
Yeah, man. Let's look at that because it's a nice dovetail. This guy's living the dream, I think.
See what he has to say.
A long-term goal is to have a farm and to live out as many hours away from you people as possible and let you enjoy your multiculturalism, diversity, and sodomy. A long-term goal is to have a farm and to live out as many hours away from you people as possible and let you enjoy your multiculturalism, diversity, and sodomy.
What a fucking G.
Does not care.
The only problem with this is that like I actually agree, and I'm one of those people that I just want to get away from all the bullshit, but at the same time, man, you don't really want society to just crumble and like let it be destroyed, you know? Like,
Yeah.
can we like band together and reverse this trajectory that we're heading in? And can we actually save the cities? You know, can we save the modern day Rome's, like the New Yorks of the world, in LA, and reverse this what is Sodom and Gomorrah level debauchery?
Yeah. I think eventually, I think Bitcoin will become more and more part of the cultural zeitgeist. And I think the more it does, people find it for, different reasons, but they ultimately lead to the same conclusion, which is you end up wanting to think about the future, save for the future, improve your health, improve your neighborhood, improve the people around you. And I think that that's what Bitcoin does. A city could absolutely be revived if it embraces Bitcoin and if Bitcoin becomes a unit of account and people are transacting with it and saving in it. I think that, what we want to have happen is for people to live peacefully, with health and family at the forefront. And it's incredible that Bitcoin ladders up to all those ideals.
I know. I mean, perfect timing, really, like for it to be in its existence, just how serendipitous that is. Yeah, because without that, what do you really do?
Yeah, man. I don't know. You stack sats in the present.
Should we stack some sats right now?
Yeah, let's do it.
What are we stacking today?
I'm good buying 21.
Let's do it, baby. 21.
That's good. 26,000 sats for 21 bucks,
Pretty damn
21.
good. 21-cent fee, 26,000 sats. Booyah. Hey man, say what you will about this price movement. It's been amazing to be able to stack below 100K again.
Oh yeah, totally has. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah. Like what a gift.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was going to be 130 by now.
Dude,
The fact
I
that we can
am
still.
feeling like a big idiot. My prediction about Bitcoin, the Bitcoin conference next month being like 250K. Dude, I don't know, might be 60.
250K.
That was my original
I think,
prediction.
dude, I think it's maybe a little bit out there.
It wasn't, dude. That was pretty modest. Like at the beginning of this, like it was people were calling for like 1 million by the Bitcoin conference. Some of them are moon boys, but like it looked like that's the trajectory that this was heading. You know, with Trump talking about Bitcoin, everything that the guys at the Bitcoin conference know, right? That's happening and taking place. You knew that they wanted to schedule that event at the biggest possible venue, the best city for a conference, because they're probably going to have Trump there. Okay, it's going to be huge, and they're expecting the price to probably be I mean at least north of six figures, right? But we're going through this different period right now where there's a lot of economic turmoil, for a reason, I suppose, and I'm fine with it. Like I'm okay with it being a little bit more of a I don't know, sober vibe at the conference versus just like a whole like back patting fest, where everyone's like, "Oh, we fucking did it." That'd be fun too, but like it's okay to not have that.
Yeah, I think the Bitcoin conference, usually the price is in the shitter
Yeah.
whenever those come around.
Yeah.
So, it'll be nothing new. I think I'm looking forward to going just to meet other plebs. To me, that's like the most fun thing. Getting to see influencers that you've heard for hours talk, like see them up close. That's always interesting. And yeah, I don't know how much Bitcoin Signal is at the conference. If you're
I don't-
new, I think it's cool. You can buy a wallet and someone will show you how to, move from Coinbase to cold storage. So that's always good, if you need help with self custody. But yeah, I think it could still be big. I mean, I'm optimistic. I think in the past, few months, we thought that the US was going to just start buying 1 million Bitcoin and buy 200,000 a year, and we'd have price action, that would be really obvious because the US is stacking, and that hasn't happened that we know of. So,
Right.
there's no bid in the spot market. So until that changes, yeah, it's just a good time to zoom out and buy as much Bitcoin, buy as many sats as you can. There's really nothing else to do.
Yeah, dude, I think you nailed it. The conference is going to be really fun just to talk with other plebs, have some beers, you know, just like let loose a little bit, have a little bit of fun with other Bitcoiners and have some basic conversations.
Yeah, the first time I ever went to a Bitcoin meetup, I was overwhelmed because I was so happy there
Yeah.
were other people who understood Bitcoin. And
Yeah.
I mean, like, it was incredible. I'm like, all these people, they care about Bitcoin the way I do. And that was somewhat in middle through my journey, maybe 21 or 22. And it had been like a year before I met any other Bitcoiner in person. And I just think that Vegas will be like that times 10. You know, you're going to see people left and right that you know.
Yeah, dude, that first night we got to get dinner. We'll get dinner on the books. We'll find a restaurant and we'll have some beers and
Do it.
that'll be fun, huh? I'm looking
Yeah,
forward.
man. Yeah, yeah, definitely. Can't wait.
Well, listen, dude, this is kind of a short show, but I don't
Yeah,
have much more to talk about. Do you have anything else you want to?
I feel it's good, man. Let's keep it concise,
Yeah.
no filler. So just the bullet points and, happy stacking.
Happy stacking, plebs. Hope you stacked with us. If you did, you ended up with more Bitcoin than you had when you started watching, and that's the goal of this show. As always, let us know what you want to see us talk about. Make sure you comment. Even our bots, although we won't talk about shit coins or meme coins or anything, but you can still comment. I think that might help the algorithm. But yeah, no, thanks everyone for tuning in. Always good to talk with you, brother. And
You too, man.
I guess we'll see
Enjoy.
what happens between now and next week. Probably in the same place, though.
Yeah, man. Sounds good. Yeah, enjoy the Jersey Mikes. Hope you
Thanks, dude.
recover.
Appreciate that, brother.
All right,
All
dude.
right, later.